Hi there everybody. Hello, how are you doing? A warm welcome back to my channels, my videos, and I hope you're all doing super well. It's been a while. Missed you guys. I haven't been recording many videos of late, but I'm really happy to be back and I hope you enjoy these videos. I'm doing a series of 3 mini videos, trying to keep them to around 10 minutes. Wish me luck on that one. When have I ever done that? About connecting with the Faerie Realm. So as they're only going to be about 10 minutes each, they are introductory videos, just some tasters, some ideas of at these liminal times, which I'll come to in just a second, how to open the door to connect with the magic and enchantment and the enriching healing energy of Faerie. So if you want to dive in and learn more about Faerie, I'm super excited because Faerie Awakening begins at Samhain, or Beltane if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, and that is one of my favourite courses. I feel like I'm making my other courses jealous, but I love them all. But Faerie Awakening is one that I absolutely adore running, and I have revamped it, and it's going to include some live classes, as well as pre-recorded videos. We have meditations, we have some rather pretty PDF worksheets, and we have craft projects, oracle spreads, the lot. I throw it all at you in the 7-week course. You get the course forever, so don't worry. I know some courses kind of like block your access after you've finished it. This course is yours. So no matter how long this course takes you, 7 weeks, 7 months, 7 years, the course is yours. So if you would like to dive in and really go between the worlds, connect with Faerie and bring that magic into your life, pop over to my website. The link is there, and find out more. I would love to see you there. We've got a gorgeous group and I'd love you to join. So without further ado, the first of these videos will be about opening the door, about those first steps you can take within yourself to prepare to open the door to connect with the Faerie Realm. I'm not going to look in these videos about are fairies real? Answer, short answer, yes. And all the other commonly asked fairy questions. Though if you do have any questions about the Faerie Realm or the other world, please pop them again in the box down there in the comments, and I'll do my best to look through them and do a video answering them. So do feel free to ask any questions you have. But this will just be a short video about opening the door and some tips and some hints about how you can start that connection with the Faerie Realm, because we do hear a lot. You can hear so many different tales, and it can give us a bit of fear or confuse us, and we just go, you know what, I'm not going to do that. No, we have had, you know, until I think it's a kind of a group mass amnesia about our own cultural heritage around the land spirits and about magic and folklore. So we're kind of refinding our way, repiecing the pieces of the puzzle back together about how to connect, how to be in tune with the land and our environment. And working with the spirits of the land and the Fae is just a wonderful way of reconnecting to pieces of our souls, but also to the land and to our ancestors, which is a very poignant topic around Samhain, connecting with ancestors. But that's for another day. So let's get on with the I've got about 5, I think there'll be more probably, tips on how to connect with, how to open the door to the Faerie Realm. So I'd say there were rules, but I kind of feel like human rules don't really apply in the Faerie Realm. They've got their very own set of specific or unspecific guidelines. I feel like I'm in Pirates of the Caribbean when I say that, but I think we like to get stuck with boxes and rules and the way things are done, and I think that that's maybe one thing we need to start to relax about before we connect with Faerie. So that was my number 1. Relax. Take a few deep ones. Let it go, let it go, let it go. No, it genuinely was my first one. It was relaxing, because what I would do, what we often do is go, right, okay, I'm going to do some magic. I'm going to go on a mission. I'm going to find fairies. I'm going to connect with them. You know, the tension, the stress. And then we feel like there's pressure upon us if we can't do it. So allowing ourselves to relax, to get rid of our human concerns, because I think we are the only beings on this planet whose brains actively find problems to make us feel miserable, who actively get ourselves stuck in quite miserable ruts. So, and there's a lot of compassion for that. That's not, you know, we can all do that. But it's also like to give ourselves the chance to be open to magic, to connect with Faerie, It's allowing ourselves to have the time to. This is not a race, it's not a challenge, it's an opening, an invitation. And that's what this whole first video is about. It's this invitation to opening, to connecting with fairy. And to do that, there's an element of just allowing and releasing, because how many times, myself, blooming well included, are we out in nature with our own problems, our own thoughts going on our head? There could literally be a fairy waving from the brambles and you wouldn't notice, and I wouldn't notice. So without putting pressure on ourselves, just learning to be and to open and to relax. So take some deep breaths, be a bit silly, come on, let that tension out your body, give it some shake, dance, release, do whatever you need to do to feel. We hold a lot of tension, we don't release it, to just shake it out of your body. And don't make it a challenge, don't make it a pressure, make it a lifestyle that you would like to open up and connect with fairies. People sometimes see fairies with their eyes, but the most part of connecting with fairies is to feel it with your heart, is to feel that connection, to know it's there, to see it in your meditations, your dreams, your journeys, and know that's not making it up. And even my challenge that is, if people go, well, what if I'm making it up? I'm like, well, where did that come from? You know, a lot of the stuff that comes through isn't stuff that you'd naturally think about. So, you know, fairies work with our imaginations, with our vision, with our ideas, and they can show themselves to us in those ways. But yeah, your body, your friends, your creativity will be grateful by a little bit of relaxing and opening up, so that we can't really go very far if we're huffing in, we're saying, right, I'm gonna do this, and you know, we make so many blocks between us and our joy. So giving ourselves a chance to remove and to let go of some of them is a wonderful way of beginning to connect with the fairy realm. So that's number one. Number two is etiquette, I suppose. We'll get that one out of the way. Etiquette. There's you might have read it, you might have seen it, that you don't say thank you when you're kind of doing a ritual or out in nature connecting to fairies. And I'd say the answer to that is yes and no. Helpful, I know, bear with me. So the connection with fairy is reciprocal. So it's an exchange of energy, of love, of ideas, of gifts. Saying thanks and walking off, a heartfelt thanks like you just bought some chips and you were just vanishing off, it doesn't really cut it. A heartfelt thank you, where you are like, oh, thank you, you know, your heart is just overflowing with gratitude. That's okay. That's more like it in my mind. You can get some people that will say differently, and also you may feel differently. Again, whatever I say is guidelines, find your own way. It's just, I don't think you'll go wrong with a bit of decent heartfelt gratitude, but actions do speak often louder than words. So just make sure that you are following through. That if you say, thank you, okay, I really appreciate this connection, I'm going to do this now, because fairies like gifts. We all like gifts. Who doesn't like gifts? And that gift doesn't have to be that I will now spend this next month in dedication creating a masterpiece for you, though it can be, of course. That could be, I will leave out some mead, some milk. I will leave out some cake, some bread. I will pick up litter in my local park. That would mean, I think, a lot more than a thanks. So it's just being aware that the nature of exchanging gifts and energy is very, very old. And it's very respected and it's appreciated. So I'd always say, if you don't want to, you know, it's best to not to do too much rather than to kind of go in there and ask for lots of things and have a big fairy debt on your shoulders. So yeah, just reciprocate, you know, be reciprocal. If you want something, that connection, offer some time, some love, offer planting a seed in your garden, offer a crystal on an altar, you know, whatever works. It's not big stuff. And what we think is big and what the fairies think is big is often a very different thing as well. So yeah, being in a space of genuine gratitude and really showing it is appreciated. And sometimes that is a thank you, because you'll mean it from your heart. So I never think that's bad. But if you go, cheers, thanks, and you're off, then yeah, that might be slightly fairy offensive. It's just different. It's like traveling to a different country. I often find with the fairy world, you just got to get used to how it's done, and that maybe it's not charging in with the way that you always expect things to go. And then you should be fine. And also I always say in the group as well, it's okay to say, look, I don't know, I want to just let me know, show me kindly and politely how to move forward here, and you will always get help because you're being open and not assuming. So politeness goes a long way. The third one is also on the same lines. It's about opening the door. So we've got relaxing, being you know, being aware, being polite, and then there's being honest. Now, I know you guys aren't liars. You're not going around telling big, fat, porky pies, but we all lie to ourselves often. We tell little white lies. I'll give an example. How are you? Yeah, I'm fine. You're not fine. You've actually had an awful morning and but not saying that's a white lie, but it's not being honest, is it? So when you connect, or maybe again thinking like, have you done it yet? Oh yeah, I've done that. Thinking, I haven't done it, I better do it. There's no these are all white lies to tell ourselves, or even like mean things we say to ourselves that are not true. It's not being honest, and it's hurtful to yourself and other people as well. And it's always a work in progress. There's no kind of judging here. We're all a work in progress, and also that we are the product of a society that is a certain way. So it's just being aware that when you turn up in the fairy, you know, working with fairy to connect with them, honesty and openness, and even the vulnerability that goes along with that, is definitely better than telling a porky pie. So when you connect with fae, there's no boundary where you have to keep in your grief, or you have to keep in your frustration, or you have to keep in your excitement and joy. It's just being yourself and turning up as yourself in the most honest way as possible. And again, that goes back to what we just said, that if you make a promise, like, I promise I'll do this, it doesn't matter if you don't do it straight away, but you do need to follow through. You need to do it. So it's best not, and there's me thinking you all the things that I've got to do, don't worry. So it's always best just to offer less and be observant for a while before charging in head first and headbutting everybody on the way through. So being really honest, and like, that's such a good life practice as well, isn't it? Just to be really, breathe before you speak and just really tune in and see how you are, see what the answer really is. And even if it's uncomfortable, to say, you know what, no, I'm not okay, or I haven't done it, I am really sorry, I'm going to do my best to get this. You know, it's best just to have that breather and practice that level of turning up in a genuine way in all areas of your life, and especially with connecting with the fairy realm. And also because I think, you know, as I mentioned briefly before, the connection with the spirits of the land, of the fae, is ancient. It is so ancient, and it's, as I mentioned, it's been a big forgetting. I think I mentioned this, I might have forgotten that I haven't mentioned it, but I plan to mention it anyway. There's been a big forgetting, and that could be seen as a betrayal, that we've, and lots of environmental stuff would definitely be seen as a betrayal. So there's not the most trust between the general nature spirit world and the human world, for really obvious reasons. I need to kind of insert a David Attenborough style, look how I'm messing up the world bit here. But that doesn't mean they don't want to connect with you. Some of them don't, and that's absolutely fine, and that's something we'll talk about next time, when fairies do not want you around, when they really don't. But there are many that truly do, and I've experienced it. I know countless others have experienced that as well. And it's one of the most healing, connective, replenishing, creative, loving and inspirational connections you can have. So it is worth it. If you're interested, it's definitely worth it. And so because of people, you know, having a history of not being the best, that being honest and turning it with total honesty now is appreciated. That's for sure. And then we can go on some more fun stuff now. I'm going to try and stick to 5. We'll see. You see my little lyre here. So, ways of connecting with the fairy realm is through music. It's also through dance and creativity in all ways, but fairies love music. They love song. They absolutely, and you're going, if you go, oh my God, Laura, I cannot sing, or I can't play an instrument. They don't want, you know, a record deal contract style performance for a live at, you know, Wembley kind of thing. They just want to come from your heart. And I think this would be such a healing thing for most people, because we're told, if you can't sing, don't sing. And people take the mick. And rediscovering your voice and finding your voice, while you're doing the washing up, while you're doing the housework. No one has to hear at first, though there's no judgment, and I believe everyone has their own voice, their own unique soul song that comes out, and that's another video. So allowing that sound to come out is so connective to Fae. It's so magical, it's so powerful. Playing an instrument, allowing yourself to connect through the gift, because it is a gift of song, and sharing that is a really beautiful way to open the door and to connect with the fairy world. Which does lead me on to my last one, and I will leave it for here because I've got so much to say. I'll do that in the second video. The last point is very, very serious. Have fun, enjoy, follow your passions. So follow your loves in life. I don't mean to follow a person. I mean follow the things that you love, that you enjoy. So if you are a musician, play for the fairies, write them a song, create them from your heart. If you're a gardener, pour your love of the land into your gardening. If you're a bit of a sacred site geek, like I am as well, go to the sacred sites and maybe make an offering or a blessing, connect with the fairies. If you're an artist, paint them a picture or draw them something. And whatever else your interests are, as you know, do that with love, do that with joy and in honor of the fairies, and it's going to be such a bridge between our world and theirs, and it will bring you joy, it will bring them joy. I always know, as I know, that when you do the things that you love, that make your heart feel filled with love, beautiful things are attracted to it. So there's so many reasons to do that, but in this case, doing that to connect with the Fae will create something very beautiful. And Ashley 6, okay, very quick last one. Acknowledge them. Say hello. Maybe in the morning, say a few words. A greetings to the day and greetings to the spirits of place, to the ancestors, to the Fae. Very, very simple, but just say something to them. Acknowledge them in the morning or in the evening when you go to bed, and it will create a wonderful connection. Right, I'm going to go now. If you want more, please do pop over to this website just here and find out more information about Faerie Awakening. I would love you to be part of this course. We're going to have so much magic over this winter period. I'll see you all really soon with part 2 of this series, and have a great weekend and week whenever you're watching it. Take care. Bye.